You don't realize you've been abandoned until one day no one comes back, no calls, no visits, no one asking how you are, just a quiet room, and a life that suddenly doesn't belong to you anymore. At 96 years old, my own daughter signed a paper and took everything I had, my house, my freedom, my name. She told them I was losing my mind, but I wasn't. And what she didn't know is that I was still strong enough to walk out. So one morning, I did. Everyone thinks they understand what happens inside a nursing home. They don't. I know, because I lived there for 381 days. I sat in a room that didn't feel like mine, a bed that made noise every time I moved, a window that showed nothing but a blank sky, and a television hanging from the ceiling like I was already gone. They called it care, but it didn't feel like care. It felt like waiting, waiting to be forgotten, waiting to stop mattering, waiting to disappear. My daughter's name is Patricia. I still remember the way she used to hold my hand when she was little, like she was afraid I might disappear if she let go. Funny how things turn out. Now she was the one letting go. She sat across from me one afternoon at the same table where I once taught her how to write her name. She slid the paper toward me, didn't say a word. Cognitive decline, unable to manage independent living. Big words, clean words, words that take everything from you without raising their voice. I looked at her. She couldn't look at me. That silence said more than anything she could have said out loud. That paper took everything. The house my wife Eleanor and I spent 31 years paying off. Gone. Every nail, every wall, every memory sold in 11 days. I wasn't even told, just removed like furniture. And me, placed in room 11, 45 minutes away from everything I had ever known. I remember the first night. I didn't sleep, not because I couldn't, but because I realized something I wasn't ready to admit. Nobody was coming to take me home. Here's the truth nobody tells you. The doors aren't locked, but you don't leave. Because after a while, you forget you still can. You start asking for permission for things that used to be yours by right. When to eat, when to walk, when to exist. And slowly, you stop asking at all. People stop talking there, not because they have nothing to say, but because nobody is listening anymore. I watched it happen day by day. Voices getting quieter, conversations getting shorter, eyes slowly giving up. There was a man named Raymond, high school football coach, 40 years, state championships, the kind of man people used to stand up for when he walked into a room. Every afternoon, he sat by the window, moving his hands like he was still drawing plays on a chalkboard that wasn't there. I asked him one day what he was doing. He didn't hesitate. Coaching. I said, who? He looked at me, calm as anything. Doesn't matter. I still know how. That stayed with me because that's what that place does. It doesn't take your memories, it takes your audience. That's when I understood that place wasn't a home. It was storage for people whose families had run out of rooms. So I started paying attention every morning, every shift change, the way an engineer watches a bridge for stress cracks. 7 a.m., that was the gap. 4 minutes, sometimes 5. Night staff leaving, morning staff not fully there yet. No one watching closely, no one expecting anything, especially not from a 96-year-old man. I told myself I wasn't planning anything for weeks, then months, but deep down I was. Because there's only so long a man can sit and wait to disappear before he decides not to. On day 381, I woke up before the sun. The room was quiet, too quiet, like it was already done with me. I got dressed slowly, put on my coat, took my medication, picked up Eleanor's photograph from the nightstand, looked at it for a moment longer than usual. Then I said something I hadn't said in a long time. Let's go. And I walked out. No alarms, no shouting, no one chasing me, just a hallway, a door, and morning light. I walked past the front desk, the sign-out sheet sitting there, untouched. I didn't sign it. For the first time in a long time, I didn't ask permission. 6 months later, I live on Birchwood Street with a woman named Kesha. She's 36, lost her father when she was young. Life didn't go the way she planned either. We met because she needed help keeping her house, and I needed somewhere to start again. That's all it was supposed to be, a simple arrangement, money for a room, nothing more. But life has a way of doing more when you least expect it. The first morning I was there, she was standing at the kitchen sink, eating cereal, staring at nothing. I've seen that look before. That's the look of someone carrying more than they can say. I asked if she wanted coffee. She looked at me like I'd asked her something impossible. You drink coffee? I smiled. I've been drinking coffee since 1958. She sat down, and that was the beginning. Now every morning, we sit together. No pressure, no pretending, just coffee and quiet that actually feels peaceful. And then there's Jaden, her 6-year-old son. One afternoon he came home with a drawing. He didn't explain it, just handed it to me. A house, a family, and a tall stick figure with white hair, standing next to a smaller one. That's you, he said. You're my grandpa. I didn't know what to say. So I didn't say anything. I just nodded because some moments you don't need words. My daughter hasn't called in months, and for a long time that used to hurt more than anything. But something changes when you stop waiting for someone and start living for what's still in front of you. The cruelest thing about getting old isn't your body slowing down. It's finding out who truly loved you and who was just waiting for you to become something they could take. I survived 381 days waiting to disappear, but I'm not waiting anymore. Now I wake up in a room I chose. I drink my coffee in peace. I help a little boy with his homework, and I sit beside people who actually see me. I may be 96 years old, but for the first time in a long time, I'm not just alive, I'm living, and I intend to enjoy every single day I have left.